Hey guys, I guess I'm back. We'll see how this goes, but today's video is going to be about how I pretty much predicted half the balance changes that Supercell is going to be doing in April. More than half. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 balance changes, and I predicted 5 of them. And maybe the Archers one was like kind of obvious, but still I feel like I did a pretty good job on predicting them. Or maybe Supercell actually watched my YouTube video and they listened to me for once. So maybe that's the case, but let's just get into the balance changes first. So first is the Rascals buff. The Rascal boys getting a buff with more hit points. The Rascal girls are getting a buff with faster first hit attack. And then they're getting a spacing rework, and they're just going to be more spread apart. And I honestly think this is a really big buff for the Rascals, and maybe a little bit too big of a buff. We'll see how this works out, but I feel like they're going to be very strong after this. So the next one is a Furnace rework, which I kind of predicted. I said a buff to the Furnace, and they're doing a rework, which could pretty much be a buff. It's a 6 to 5 second spawn delay, and the duration is going down a few seconds. I'm not sure, this could be a buff overall, but yeah. And then a buff to the Furnace because it also has one of the worst win rates in the game, and I think like Goblin Hunt and like Barbarian Hunt, it should also deserve a buff. Next is a buff to the Mega Minion, which is another one that I predicted. It's getting a hit speed buff by 23%, and I literally said that Mega Knight should have a hit speed buff, so I literally predicted this, guys. And yeah, I agree with this buff, obviously, because I suggested it. I think Mega Minion obviously gets overshadowed by the Phoenix, so I'm glad Supercell did this buff. A buff to the Mega Minion. This card doesn't really, I wouldn't say it really needs a buff, but after the Phoenix got introduced in the game, it just kind of shoved Mega Minion in the corner, because Phoenix is just the better option when looking for flying melee troops. So I just feel like buffing the Mega Minion, whether it's HP or hit speed or whatever damage, would really help the Mega Minion thrive in the meta. Next, on the balance changes, we got a attack range buff to the Spear Goblins. I did not see this coming at all, and I don't really have strong opinions about it. I mean, I guess this was a fine buff because Goblins have been really taking over, and I feel like they're way better than Spear Goblins, so I think this was an okay buff, but I honestly don't care. So next is the Archers nerf. Their first hit time is getting nerfed, so I think we all saw this coming. Archers were so OP this season, and to say I predicted it is kind of silly, but I technically did because it's in my video. But yeah, Archers are getting a nerf, and I think we can all agree this is a good nerf. But I hope they're not completely dead after this, because I do like Archers a lot. Archers, as everyone knows, they got a huge buff this February, and they're super fast. Their hit speed is just insane, and I do think they should have a little nerf. Not fully to how it used to be, because I do think they deserved a buff, but not this big of a buff. The day has come, guys. We finally get a minor nerf. The hit speed, the HP is going down, I believe 7%. I can't really see, but I think that says 7%. And honestly, this is such a great nerf, and it is another one that I did predict in my last video, so I'll show that in a second. But yeah, I really do think Minor deserves this nerf. He was in every deck. It was like the whole meta just revolved around Minor, I feel like, and it was just such a strong win condition. And I spoke about this in my last video. If you want to check that out, I spoke about it more in depth of how Minor is just such a strong card, so I'm very happy that they did this. Minor's a super strong card and one of the best win conditions in the game. Minor is usually paired like with cycle cards. It's usually in quick cycle decks. So it's just endless minors to your tower, and it's just guaranteed damage. It's such a reliable win condition. Minor and poison synergize so well together. It has good amount of HP, and I don't know what they would nerf about it. Maybe the HP. Maybe. The next one I feel so strongly about. It's a nerf to the Golden Knight, and I just want to thank Supercell because they just did this perfectly. So it's the dash distance is going from 6 tiles to 5.5 tiles, so it's gonna make it harder for the Golden Knight to dash onto the targets because they need to be closer. And I predicted this, like I specifically said nerf the dashing ability. It is just OP, and I've said this for 2 of my balance change suggestion videos, and I'm glad Supercell finally took notes. This is exactly what I had a problem with about the Golden Knight. That kind of didn't make sense, but that's my problem with the Golden Knight, the dash, and I'm glad they fixed it. The Golden Knight, one of the stronger champions in the game right now. I think the dashing ability is broken. I said this in the last video. They just need to nerf that because it's just ridiculous. All these Golden Knight dashes, it will dash to like 10 different troops, and it's just so OP. And then lastly, we got a nerf to the Phoenix, which I actually did not see coming because they have nerfed the Phoenix so many times since its release, and I honestly don't think this one was like very necessary. So the death damage is decreasing by 10%, and honestly I thought the Phoenix was pretty balanced, but whatever, I guess I'm cool with this. I honestly don't care. But yeah. But I also wanted to add 2 more cards that I'm surprised Supercell didn't nerf was Royal Giant, because Royal Giant is a very strong card still, and it's on the watch list. It was on the watch list for balance changes, so I'm surprised they didn't touch that. And then also Hog Rider, but at the same time I'm not surprised because they haven't touched Hog Rider in years, and I just think they should nerf it because in my opinion it's just one of the stronger win conditions in the game. So those are my thoughts on the April balance changes, and I predicted over half of them, so I feel pretty proud. And thankfully Supercell actually watched my video and took my suggestions into consideration. So I'll probably be making future balance change suggested videos because maybe I am helping and making a change. Okay, actually I'm not. I feel like they didn't watch it.